Hey, y'all. Welcome back. Season 2, Episode 8 of the Manly Musings podcast. Tonight, we have a special guest. And Kevin, this is your friend. So I want you to do the intro. So take it over.
Yes. So greetings.
FYI,
Sorry
everybody, Kevin is smoking a pack a day for this episode.
Yeah.
Just so y'all know.
Thanks. Yes. Greetings, everyone. Kevin out here for your Manly Musings podcast. Want to go ahead and introduce a great friend of mine from the days of battling it out at the rec center until now. He's rocking it out over in Salisbury, Maryland. We have hold on, I have your title. I wrote it down on the sheets. The Recreation Superintendent at Wicomico County, Mr. Jes Simmons. I know him as Jes. So, Jes, welcome to the podcast, sir.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm honored. I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah, you are also on. So this is episode 8 of season 2, which is also episode 60 overall.
All right.
We've been doing this for that long.
Yes, Merritt, we have been doing this for that long. And you haven't fired me yet and replaced me. So
I can't replace you. I can't. I think people would revolt if I replaced you or if you replaced me. So
no, 100%. Yeah.
If you keep up the pack a day, you might not have a voice left soon. So
I know I might just have to live the guy sending notes to make sure you talk about this. I will be the guy that has not on camera. I'll just have like a picture of me because I'm not gonna be able to talk.
Oh God. All right. With that, let's talk about some fun stuff because there's some wild stuff happening in the world of sports this week. My favorite basketball team decided to just lay a goose egg for 2 days in a row and lose to an unranked team and then go into quadruple overtime and lose. And go from number 1 in the standings to number 18. So that was great for UNC. So that's fantastic there. College basketball, I think Texas or Houston right now is the number 1 team, depending on what poll you look at. But it's Houston's first time since the 80s as the number 1 team in the country.
Shout out to Houston, since Elijah was there.
Yeah.
Wow. Phi Slamma Jamma.
Well, they weren't that good for a long time. They just kind of fell off the face of the earth. And then all of a sudden, 3 years ago, they were like, oh, we're good.
Kelvin Sampson's got them going.
Yep.
Yeah, solid. The first thing I'll just say, shout out to Alabama. Roll Tide. Was it 4 overtimes they lost?
4 overtimes.
That's crazy. I just remember seeing that. I was like, there's no way there's 4 overtimes that they're just went through.
I'm just mad that UNC lost the night before or 2 days prior to an unranked team in Iowa. And they didn't just lose. They got blown out.
Yeah. I mean, hey, well, also remember,
it's early.
It's early. It's only November 30th, Wednesday at 7:40 p.m. It's nothing right now. They could be complete in March.
That's true. And they've only been playing for 3 weeks, really?
Exactly. So, it's nothing. Right now, it's the preliminaries. For instance, right now, one of the best teams I think right now is Purdue with their 7'4" monster. And
I was gonna say, have you guys ever remembered a team jumping that far in the rankings like that?
No.
In one weekend? That's
crazy.
24th to 5th is insane.
Yeah, that only happens when you destroy Duke the way you did.
And Gonzaga.
They beat us by 12. They beat Gonzaga by 18 or 19.
Yep. And same with Duke.
And then Duke. Yeah. And they have every single Mr. Indiana on their basketball team for the last 3-4 years. I think the only one that they did have was 2020, but they got the guy that was second place. So I mean, I'd still consider that Mr. Indiana as well.
That's
So
crazy.
I know you mentioned Edie, the monster. Like, he's gotten so much better from last year. He's extremely tough. But after the game, I was watching and I saw them taking a championship picture, and then I saw it posted later somewhere. There's a big redheaded kid that is as tall as him in the picture. Like,
what?
they've got
Oh
another
my
one right
goodness.
behind him. They just constantly have 7-footers that are
They
they're
they are known for the taller players. Remember when we beat them when we were in school, Kevin?
Yo, yeah, they had like Jawan Johnson, who's like
yeah.
6'10", 7 feet. They
But he could
love
shoot. That kid could
Robbie
shoot.
Hummel was like six
Hummel,
ten as
yeah.
well.
Oh gosh, I forgot about Hummel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Purdue, like that is a scary team. Somebody tall, and I'm not gonna lie, maybe this is just maybe showing my age. It was just nice to see like a big guy showing off some post moves instead of trying to see him shoot like 30-footers. I don't
Yes.
know.
No,
Maybe I'm just old, but like that was refreshing to see. Like, hey, I got a 7 foot guy, 7'4" guy in the post, clanging and banging and throwing it over guys with a little sky hook.
I like that kind of basketball. I want that back so bad. I don't like
Oh,
this. We've talked about it. I don't like the shoot a three every 2 seconds. Though the Boston Celtics are really good at it this year. I still don't like it personally, but that was good there. Kevin, I want to ask, how was the stadium on Sunday when Mike White trots out on the field and throws for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns?
man, all you kept hearing is Mike White, Mike White, the whole stadium going crazy for this guy. And granted, he's had time to play before. He covered for Zach Wilson last year, and he played really, really well. And I think I can't confirm, but by the looks of it and by the way things are going over there, and the way they performed this weekend, I'm gonna book it right now. I'm gonna bet that we may have seen the last of Mr. Zach Wilson in a Jets uniform. I'm gonna
Really?
bank. I'm calling that right now.
That quick?
I am that quick, and maybe I shouldn't be saying this, but just from some sources, you know, what you would notice if you went to a Jets game, there was no number twos being sold around the stadium,
Mm.
and there was none to be found in the stadium. Normally,
Only
things like
ponchos.
only ponchos.
Only
Yes,
ponchos that were
a lot
needed
of
on
requests.
Sunday.
A lot of requests for a number 17, but like
Huh.
to find a number 17, Wilson, you know, it's a needle in a haystack because everybody wants him. But normally, when
That's
places do that, they're preparing for
that's
that
pretty
person who
telling.
is no
Yeah.
longer. Yeah. So just remember this. Remember that statement. And when you go into the offseason for the
Kevin called it.
NFL, you heard it first.
Wow. I don't think he's done as a Jet. I think he needs to sit down and eat some humble pie or take a face plant into some humbleness somewhere. Cause that boy is thinking he's all that. But you know what? He gets the bag, his best friend's mom. So good for him. I
They like the
He's got that
t-shirts
going for
say.
him.
yeah,
The
he's
t-shirts say, "Throwing bombs and banging moms." Shout
good for
out to
him.
him.
But you know what? You sat on the bench and you look like Anakin Skywalker's. Whatever, all the memes were this weekend was him looking like Anakin. I was like, "Ooh, I like it."
Yeah, I mean, so we'll see. Maybe I could be wrong, but like I've just seen some things in the past where, when they do things like this, that's normally a telling sign that something above us is projecting the future, and it's sounding that he's not a part of it.
It's
I
interesting
think I'm
that
gonna tweet. I think I'm gonna tweet Adam Schefter real quick and see if we can get him to break that.
Oh
oh,
my
that'd
god,
be
can you
great.
imagine? That would be hilarious.
Oh my god, that'd be hysterical. All of a sudden, we all look at our phones. Uh-oh. Kevin.
30,000 tweets, and then all of a sudden,
Sources.
sources from
Kevin
inside
Cueva.
Kevin Cueva, and then I get a call. You have been fired from MetLife Stadium. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, but then the podcast blows up because that's where they found the first news. So I don't know. I could take that trade off if that actually.
Hey, with the things where I work is going, I take that trade off any day of the week, bro. Seriously.
Oh my gosh.
Damn.
I love it.
More basketball news. I thought this was fantastic. I love this player. Kemba Walker is now the backup point guard in Dallas. Fantastic spot for him. Easily the best fit for him right now.
I love Kemba. Cardiac Kemba, one of my favorites. We got to watch him in school. He was on my New York Knicks for a cup of coffee. He didn't, it just didn't work out well. But, I think he's still got a lot of game left. He's in a backup role, so a lot of the pressure is not going to be on him. So he can just kind of come in, shoot some threes, get it some relieve Luka for a couple of minutes, and then, rest so he doesn't have to strain his body because he's getting older.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a big Dallas Mavs fan in my house. She's kind of converted me. So he's just got to play in spurts. Like Luka's incredible. And he literally just needs to come on. Like he can fill it up quick too. I mean, he could be a pretty big impact for them.
Yeah, he's going to be. When they played against the Celtics, last week, I watched the game, and the only person that could score was Luka, and then maybe a little bit from Dinwiddie, and that was it. And you have no bench scoring, so if he comes off the bench, could drop you 20 points easily every night without trying. So
yes, since we're on that topic, Jess, we know your wife is a huge Dallas Mavs fan. Is she upset the way, they put together Luka and Kristaps Porzingis together? They didn't work out well together, and then all of a sudden now Kristaps is balling in DC. Is she anyway upset that? Is she anyway upset that now all of a sudden now he decided to start playing well, that he left Dallas?
I think she is more upset with how Luka complains every 5 seconds to the referees. That's what she's more upset about. I think she's moved on from Kristaps, but Luka, while he's incredible, we just want him to shut up and play. He's so good. He's so good, but he's such a baby on the court right now.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Luka.
That is the NBA as we know it these days.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
He is insane though. I mean, you can act however you want if you're that good, I guess.
Oh, the Celtics got Grant Williams, who doesn't know how to stop talking to the refs and trips over players or runs through players on accident. Dude, you're a role player. Don't talk to refs, please. Stop getting technicals. That's all I ask as a Celtics fan. Come on. Big question here. Did either of you watch yesterday's game?
So I was in the middle of media day for our event, or actually, we were in the middle of setup. So I was kind of prepping for my big speech, and then I could not get any of my staff to help me do anything because they were glued to it. They were glued to it. So I kept getting updates from them. I didn't get to watch it, but I started watching a little bit of a replay today when I got home. But that's awesome.
Kevin, did you watch it?
Saturday at 10, right?
Yeah, Saturday they play. I think cover starts at 10, game starts at 11 against Holland or the Netherlands, however you want to call it. It's either one.
So now is this it's win or go home now?
Yes, this is now you're into the knockout phase. So they will finish. I think group play finishes tomorrow with the last few teams. But yeah.
I'm excited. I mean, fingers crossed that the USA can do it. I don't know how far they're gonna go. A lot of people have them in the middle rounds, but I think right now we just need to see them scoring.
They scored twice. That's it. 3 games,
Yeah.
2 goals. Yeah.
So fingers crossed that maybe they can have like 2 goals in a game or like 3
They
goals
had
in a
2
game.
goals in the game, but the guy was offsides by like an arm length.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That
it
see,
was-
like soccer stresses me the hell out when I watch it because I'm like, these guys are running holy hell through like up and down this field, and then you're gonna tell me that like they got offsides by like an arm length like that. See, that just drives me crazy.
Dude, it was so much fun though. 38th minute goal by oh gosh, I'm gonna butcher his name. Pulisic, I believe is how
Pulisic.
Pulisic. And dude got a groin contusion.
Yeah.
Literally looked like he took a full knee to the family jewels. And it just reverberated through his whole body. But that goal was beautiful. They had a couple opportunities to score another one, and then Iran literally just went berserk in the second half and put on the attack, and we somehow got out of that one without tying and going home.
Yeah.
So I'll take it. Not the best way to win it, but I'll take a win and get out of the knockout, get to the knockout round, because no one predicted, that we would even make it this far. I think a lot of teams were like, "Oh, CUS, they'll screw up somewhere," which normally happens.
I think a lot of us thought that.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. 10 a.m. Saturday. I'm gonna make sure that I tune in. Hopefully, we're able to see, US move on and see how far they can take it. I mean, I don't know what happens when they run into like another like who would they face if they were to win this matchup?
Ooh, that's a good question. Let's see. World bracket.
Because I was about to say, like, if it ends up being like Brazil or like Portugal, you might as well just say sayonara to our dreams.
We'll run into somebody at some point like that pretty soon.
Let's put it this way: if we win,
Okay.
we either play
Like, just literally call
Australia.
it?
We either play
Okay.
Australia, who's meh. They got blown out by France, like badly. I'm actually shocked they made it this far. Or one of the best soccer players to ever play the game in Messi in Argentina.
Oh. That's
Didn't
cool.
did they lose to somebody in group play?
They
Saudi
lost
Arabia.
to Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia.
And then they won their
Okay.
last 2 games, so it got them in.
It woke them up.
But
Oh my gosh.
the other games, if France wins, it's going to be France versus England or Senegal versus France, because they're playing Poland and
right.
France looks amazing. So we still have 8 more teams to settle. I don't know if this is all from. Yeah, these were today's game. Some of these were from today. So we will see what happens moving forward, but it'll be fun.
And then
for sure.
2026, we can actually go to some games.
Oh, we're going.
Oh, yes.
There's
Yes,
I'm going to 3 stadiums.
2026.
MetLife, Gillette, and where the Eagles play, Wells Fargo. All are
You
hosting
mean
games.
Lincoln Financial.
Lincoln Financial. Oh, sorry. I don't pay attention anymore. It used to be whatever.
You did the same thing last week. It's okay.
I always do. I always screw up somewhere. That's why we have a producer, but he's not here with us to tell me I screwed up. You did instead. This one just came across my phone right as we started this. And this is not a good look for Nebraska football. So their interim head coach, Mickey Joseph, who everyone was up in arms about, so happy about, because he was the first Black coach ever in Nebraska athletic history, was arrested for suspicion of strangulation and 3rd-degree assault tonight.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That's rough.
That's pretty bad. Pretty bad.
That is really terrifying.
Yeah.
That is not a good look, especially the way Nebraska is looking. Did they just hire Matt Rule, though?
Yes, they hired Matt Rule
Yeah.
as the new head coach. But I don't know if Nebraska had won enough games to make it to a bowl game. So they may have, and now they have no head coach for it.
Well, I mean, I don't know what to say here. It's like damned. It's extremely unfortunate. Like you were celebrated so much for you being able to get that position because Nebraska just you wouldn't think of Nebraska to like do something like they did, but now you're gonna go ahead and turn around, and now you have these allegations against you. Uh, I, it's unfortunate. I hopefully maybe that it's false, but hearing that it's not good.
It sounds like it was a call directly to his house.
Oh,
So something went
Something in the
horribly
house.
wrong. And whatever transpired, we cannot assume anything because we were not there and we don't have the evidence. Something happened between him and someone else in his home, and it ended up in him in handcuffs. But he is on administrative leave at this point in time. And then I just saw another thing. Trent Dilfer is now the head coach for UAB football.
yeah.
I didn't even know Trent Dilfer ever coached football. I just remember him being an analyst.
He's been coaching high school for like a while now.
Oh,
Thought he's been doing like the Elite 11 stuff. He's been like coaching up some of the top quarterback talent for a little while. The last
Yeah,
I
I knew he
remember,
did.
but that's
That'll be interesting.
yeah.
Especially because
That's like a
keep going, Kevin. Go.
oh sorry. That's gonna be his first like collegiate coaching job. Group of five conference. UAB. Solid program that I think they just maybe need a new fresh face. I do remember a couple years back, UAB lost their football program, and then they brought it back after like 2 years. So maybe just another part of them rebuilding it. So we'll see what happens. And then Trent Dilfer, us, we grew up with him. We had seen him on like ESPN on NFL, playing in the Super Bowl. So it'll be exciting to see what he can do.
It will be. I agree. So Kevin, do you want to talk about which sport first?
Oh,
Well, or do you
well,
want
so
to talk?
let's go positive.
What do
West
you,
Virginia basketball.
well, both were positive.
Well, I mean, the
Basket,
way you look at it, you could
it's
be negative for the other side.
not really. We beat Oklahoma State in a typhoon.
Yeah, it's true. Shout out to them.
We ended 5-7. We won the
5-7.
last game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
We could have easily won 5, maybe 4 more games this year, depending on certain calls and certain other things that would go our way. Yeah, I'm okay. I was happy that we won. Let's just put it that way. And watching
Okay.
Nico play, yeah, he's going to be good. But Garrett Green is going to be the next quarterback right now.
The one thing I'll definitely say, I feel super bad for JT Daniels. I just feel like he's just been getting hit with a lot of bad luck. It was great for us in the beginning of the season. Then just getting looks like some injuries and just took him way down.
he
And
couldn't
I'm
throw
really
the ball
happy.
anymore, and he couldn't
Yeah,
move.
yeah, couldn't move. It was a much needed move for them to move to Garrett Green. He just, I talked about it on the podcast. There's no reason why he should not be on the field with the way how elusive he moves, the way he can run with the ball. They needed to get him to play. So I'm excited. He's got some reps now. And with the speculations going on, it looks like we might have Neil back for another year.
Yes.
So
it sounds like the new athletic director, is it something Baker? I can't remember his first name.
Ren Baker.
I almost said West for some reason. He's coming from North Texas, reestablished North Texas as a decent football program and a pretty good basketball program. as they've won or have placed in the top 2 in conference. They're in the CAA, I believe.
might be
Conference USA.
USA, yeah,
yes.
I think USA.
So they've done very well in a Power 5 conference. No, lower tier Power 5, truly. But now he's taking a step to see what we can do here. So he's going to reevaluate Neil Brown at the end of next season. If you're happy about that, great. If you're not, great. It's fine. Is what it is. It's really hard to fire an athletic director, find a new one, and then fire your head football coach and go find another one. Like, you don't do that. There's no rhyme or reason unless for some reason we brought in the guy from Oregon and he brought somebody with him.
Yes. Yes. So I know he was the main choice. Rob Mullins, AD of Oregon, also West Virginia University alum of our sport management program. So a lot of connections there. I mean, let's be real. If we were in his position, we probably wouldn't really want to leave a place like Oregon. I think it's
hell no.
The connection that you have with the Nike brand. Yeah. So with that, I think the one thing that I
he's never got to buy another piece of clothing again.
Yeah,
exactly.
He gets like the dopest shoes ever, besides like the USA men's soccer coach who has dope shoes every week.
Yeah.
Out of control. But I think the one thing I'm excited about this AD is a lot of the things that they've raved about him is that he is a hell of a fundraiser. So, we talk about one of the things that, West Virginia hasn't really fully adopted yet is that true commitment to the NIL. And they think that with this addition of Ren Baker, he's going to help out a lot with that. So fingers crossed he does. Merritt, you and I have talked about numerous times on this podcast for like the last several months that there's got to be something more that we can do as a school and athletic administration to help out the NIL deals so we can stay competitive with everyone else. So hopefully he's able to do that. And they said that he has been very picky on where he wants to go.
Yeah. He has
former Oklahoma State alumni, and
a principal in the state of Oklahoma, and he was a basketball coach at DU2 level and NAIA level. So the guy has a great background, but like you said, Kevin, very picky on where he wanted to leave. They said his salary now that he has left was around $800,000 a year at North Texas.
Yeah.
His salary definitely went up a lot coming here. So I'll be interested to see what he does. I'm intrigued. And he's young.
I thought the salary was pretty interesting. I saw 1.1 million for him, and then they plus incentives. And then I saw in the same tweet, Shane Lyons was like 930 something. I thought that was interesting that he's I mean, Lyons came from Alabama. Like you would think he would have gotten more money off the bat from jumping in, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and Shane Lyons also, he was a former alum of us as well. So the fact that he only got that much money, that's like pretty surprising. But
pretty decent money still, but
yeah, for real.
Any of us that someone came over and said, "Hey, you want $930,000?" Oh, wait, what? Yeah, what do I have to do for it? Nothing. You just get to sit at a desk all day and pretend to do work.
Yep, right, pretty much.
Cool. I'll do it. Go shake some hands, kiss some babies. Go see a coal mine every now and then. Yeah.
There you go.
I could do that. It's an easy job. But yeah, and I also like that he's younger. He's not older and stuck in certain ways. Sounds like he's very flexible with what's going on in the new college atmosphere we're around. Other West Virginia news, Bryce Ford Wheaton is leaving. He is going to the NFL draft. He did declare that today. Dude balled out. I love watching him play because he was a great wide receiver for us. I hope we get to watch him on Sundays. If not, maybe we watch him on Saturdays or Thursdays whenever the XFL plays or the AFL or in the CFL. So he's got options. So go have some fun.
Yeah, I think I mean, let's be real. There would be really no reason for him to come back. He's been in school for way too long. Go get your money and do what you got to do. But are we going to talk about our men's basketball team?
Oh, they finished fifth in the Phil Knight Classic. Kevin and I both agreed last week before the Purdue game that if we lost by 10 or so, it was a good game. We didn't really expect them to win because of, all the Mr. Indianas and the 7-footers and all that stuff that Purdue apparently likes to harbor against a smaller athletic team that relies more on their shooting. So I'm very happy that where this team is. They have one loss. They blew out the Florida Gators badly by like 20 points.
Yeah.
I don't know who they have next though. I thought I don't remember.
They play Xavier this weekend for the
That's right.
Big 12, Big East, like the challenge thing they do every year. So that's gonna be big. It's at Xavier. So
Ooh.
that's in Ohio. So around where Cincinnati. We all
Yeah.
know Bob Huggins and Cincinnati House Anonymous. So that's gonna be a huge game. And then it's a lot of honestly, it's pretty smooth sailing until we get to Big 12 play on New Year's Eve. I think, and when we start to play, I think it's Kansas State. But I really like this. I really like this basketball team this year. There's something different about them. You got size. If we need to press, we have guys that are able to press. I think Eric Stevenson is going to be a huge fan favorite. He kind of reminds me of he's like that player that if you're not a fan of that team, you hate him a
You hate
lot.
him.
Like the
I
vibe
can
I
see
get
that.
from him, I get Eric Devendorf vibes from Stevenson, like hard.
Oh God.
Because there was a point where there's a highlight where he dunked it on
Yeah.
Florida, and then like he said something to the cheerleader, and the cheerleader was like, what did he just say? I don't know what he said.
Oh
A lot of
man.
people speculation said that he shout out his number while he dunked to them, but we can't get full
Smooth.
clarification on that, that is.
That's a lot. That's a lot to get out in the middle of a dunk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially going up like that. Damn. I don't think I could do it.
Yeah. But our guard play is a lot better.
I love watching Toussaint.
Yes.
Oh, he's so good.
I don't remember us having I can't remember a guard that's been able to just get wherever he wants at any point
And
off
he
the
wasn't
dribble
known
like he is.
before coming here. He wasn't known for that. He was known for being more of a defensive guard. And
Yeah.
now it's like, oh yeah, I can play offense.
He's like teardrop floaters. Like
So, and I think like this is gonna be the wave. Like Coach Huggins even talked about it in his press conference. He's like, I'm gonna go after guys in the portal. I may not, depending on what I have, I'm gonna go after guys in the portal instead of maybe taking a high schooler where I'm not sure of. Because like look at what we have. Like both JUCO guys and Jimmy Bell and Wagyu, solid pieces. Then you have Stevenson, a senior, Toussaint, another senior, Emmett Matthews, another senior. So like we're literally, and then I can't even forget about the guy, which it's like you thought we had a lot of firepower. Then you have Jose Perez from Manhattan,
Oh
who's
my
going to
God,
start
yeah.
in January.
I can't
like,
wait to see what he does.
I'm like, where are we going to put him? Where are we going to put him?
He is going to light up the Big 12. It's going to be scary when he actually gets going.
I think it's that feeling of like, if you like, and I hate it because I know like Hugs does it all the time. Like, if you remember the 2010 team, those guys from New York is what like helped them win it. And now you have all these guys from New York together on a Bob Huggins team. I don't want to jinx it.
It's
I don't want to
gritty.
jinx it.
Just it's going to be gritty Bob Huggins basketball, and they're going to slug it out with anyone in that Big 12. I know they projected us to be near the bottom of the Big 12 in basketball. I don't see that happening. Texas and Kansas are right now the two best teams easily in the Big 12. But damn, we know we can beat Texas. We've done it plenty of times. We've beaten Kansas once almost every single year. Yeah. So I'll take one out of the two from each team. I'll take it. So I'm excited. This team will be more fun to watch as we get into the nitty-gritty of the season.
Yeah, the portal might be the way to go for us, because jumping from high school to Huggins cannot be easy. Like, these guys at least have lived the college athlete lifestyle for a year or two before they get there, and it's not quite as much of an adjustment. But
no,
I mean, any high school recruit we get, they got to be super tough, like Javon Carter, to be able to hang with Huggins.
Yeah, you got to have that thick skin.
And he played a couple of those freshmen there. Josiah Harris. I didn't realize he's gonna be a very good defender. He's lanky, he's long. And then a couple of the guys from last year's team with the Seth Wilsons, the Kobe Johnsons, like those are still some solid players that you are wielding in this rotation full of people that were not on your team last year. So they're just going to get better and better as the months go on.
Yeah.
And I would like to hope that we can make a nice little run in March.
I just want us to continue playing the way we are. Last year, I don't think the three of us could sit and watch a full West Virginia game last year. It was very, very hard to do. Now it's like, this is the teams that we watched when we were in college. Like, it's up and down, it's in your face, and he's reinvented it again for the 20th or something time in his coaching career. He's changed his program. I don't know any other coach that can do that. So, and he does it with, let's be honest, no-name players. He takes the no-names, and
we've never. I mean, what are our 2 5-stars ever? Ebanks and Chibwe. Like, a total of 3.5 years spent at the university. Like,
literally.
Devin Ebanks.
Well, you know what? It's funny you mentioned Ebanks, because that's who I see in Trey Mitchell.
Oh, yeah.
They were the same damn number. I literally look at him like, that is Ebanks, like a replica.
As long as we don't have a replica of Casey Mitchell just throwing threes up all over the place, I'll be okay. I don't want that.
He was great for like the first 5 games that year. But
do you remember where he would literally put up 30, and then the next game he was like,
it was the Thanksgiving. Yeah, it was like the Thanksgiving tournament in Anaheim that year. He went off. I'm like, oh my God, we finally have a shooter, and then he's gone.
And then he goes quiet for 10 games, doesn't hit anything at all, and then goes off for another 30, 40 points. You're going, what the?
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, Kevin, can you explain New Jersey? Because Jess and I love it because it's Cole Brandon from Hawaii, but like, just a simple fact, you have a Hawaii football shirt.
So you guys know you guys know I'm an avid jersey collector. I like to find things that are different. My sister was in Hawaii with she was in there for work. Shout out to Harbor's Vintage. If anybody's on the island of Oahu and likes to shop vintage, this is the place to go. And I told my sister, hey, do they have anything University of Hawaii or any vintage Nike? She sent me some different photos. Then the last picture she sent me was this jersey, and I go, just stop what you're doing. I'm going to just get that one. Just tell me how much it is. I'll send you the money. And then now I got it. And it's like, so this is like an extra large, but also remember, this is like also from like the early 2000s. So like, this is technically feeling like a 3X, but because I'm so round and rotund, it just like fits perfectly. So I'm just happy that it fits. I'm rocking it out. And yeah, so another jersey in the book.
Every week you come up with a different like adjective to describe yourself. Every week for 60 weeks. There's a new adjective.
Well, which one's your favorite? Then I'll stay with that one.
I think Rowney Rodon has been my favorite so far.
Oh my god.
I think though you've got to cut out the cigarettes if you want to keep that body
Yeah.
and keep that
I
jersey
know.
fitting right, you know?
Seriously.
Yeah,
It's the struggle.
I agree with Jess on that one, dude. Cut those cigarettes out, you know. That's all you gotta do.
I'm trying. Merritt, so you're supposed to have a hat on, but you said you have something else better. Yeah, I think I see it. I'm very excited.
So, yes, I always have a hat on. This week, though, my hockey jersey finally came in after ordering it about a month ago. As everyone has heard, Kevin and I are going to an Islanders game in a few months. So I went with the NHL throwbacks that they did this year, and I got me an Islanders jersey with the fisherman.
I do like that a lot. That's super cool.
Nice. So I want to huge shout out to this guy I follow on Instagram, Sports Stitches by Ben. If you want, follow him. He's fantastic. These jerseys retail at like 200 something bucks. I spent all in total 170, and that included shipping it down to me. So fantastic jerseys. I can send it back to him and put my name on it if I want, or put a player's name on it and put a number for a little bit more. But I love it. I got it today and I was like, oh, this is fantastic. Here's my Christmas gift to myself.
There you go. Now let me ask you, because I've never actually bought a hockey jersey before.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you recommend, like, sizing wise?
So this is an extra large on me, and I probably could have gone with a 2XL just to be, we're going to a game. You're going to want to put a sweatshirt on underneath it. So it might be a little tight when we go, but I would say for yourself, an XL, most likely.
All right. I'll remember that, because I'll need to make sure I get me one of these jerseys so I could, fit in with this Long Island crowd. Because even though I'm a Rangers fan, wearing an Islanders jerseys, and I love the fishermen, so I can't even like hate on it.
I know.
Worst case, Kevin, rock the Colt Brennan jersey. No one will ask any questions.
Or just wear a Knicks jersey and be like, I have no idea what sport I'm watching.
Like, I'll be like, it's blue and orange, like your colors. So like there.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, that'll be great. How bad did you do in fantasy?
Oh man, it was gonna be bad, but I got saved by one fantasy team. So I went 1-2.
Same here.
I'm right now battling for the final playoff spot in one league. I am the second overall seed in another, and then my third league, I'm like, it's a battle because it's a 16 league. I just need to like not lose my last two games, or else I'm going to be in trouble. But of course, the schedule has it that I'm playing the top two teams more than the last two games, and I am getting closer to the bottom of the bracket. So yeah, it's rough, and injuries are not helping. Cooper Kupp went down, so he was the star of my team, and it's going to be a struggle. But fantasy basketball is on. I just had a trade rejected 5 minutes ago. Tried to get Marcus Smart. I offered RJ Barrett because they asked for RJ Barrett in another trade. He, for whatever reason, declined it. But
well, I wouldn't trade RJ Barrett for Marcus Smart either. That's a very bad trade. Who wants RJ Barrett on their team?
I mean, he wanted RJ Barrett, and he was only gonna give me like two randos off the bench. So I'm like, yo, if we're gonna do a trade, like, give me something worth of value. Give me Marcus Smart. And he said, F you, no. So I was like, all right.
Was this your cousin?
It's my cousin's league. It's just one of his random friends.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, if your cousin's saying that to you, then we'll have a talking to him. But
yeah, well, Noel is actually like 0-4 right now, so he can't even Can't even talk. Shout out to my cousin Noel, the expert
Oh.
sports gamer.
Oh boy. All right. Everybody, we've been talking enough. We've been going through a lot of fun stuff. Now let's actually get to the guest of the show.
Yes.
An hour later. Per usual. Wow, we talk too much. But Jes, welcome. Let's have some fun.
Yes, I'm
Yeah, I'm
ready.
excited.
So, Jes, I'm gonna take this question. I took it from when we had my cousin Noel on. Sports with a question mark. Where did the passion for sports start? Who inspired you? Who are your favorite teams and athletes?
It's a loaded
So
question.
yeah, that is. That is. So sports, like neither one of my parents are super competitive at all. Like honestly, probably the opposite of competitive. And but they like any kid, like they got me playing youth sports at a pretty young age. Like I was probably 5 or 6 playing soccer for the first time, that kind of a thing. Was super shy and quiet kid, but then they literally had to pull me out of the car for a first soccer practice. That's a story that they love to tell. But from that moment on, like I don't know what clicked for me, but I loved sports from that moment on. And I knew forever that's like what I wanted to work in somehow. I didn't know what exactly that would look like or what the path would be at all. But I knew like from very early on, like I love sports, not good enough to be a collegiate or a pro athlete by any means in any sport, but I knew that somehow I wanted to be around it. And yeah, so I think like just very early on playing sports, it was an outlet for me, let me actually be competitive. And I just kind of grew to love sports through that. So fan wise, I mean, like I got into basketball pretty early on. Like I remember distinctly the 2002 Maryland national champions, the men's basketball team at Maryland. Like that I was probably 12 years old, and like from that moment on, I've been locked in on March Madness every single year since. Like that's what that's probably my favorite sport, I would say, is college basketball, from the fan perspective. And so that Maryland team, I think that was one that really stuck out to me. Um, Paid attention to West Virginia before I went there a little bit, but not a whole lot. But then obviously now, I mean, that is the team I root for. And then I grew up in Maryland, so Ravens, Orioles, those are my teams. I thoroughly enjoy that. And I told you earlier, my wife has kind of sucked me into the Mavericks now too. But yeah, college basketball is my favorite. I think by far. March Madness is those first 4 days I take off of work, like that whole those
first
full
couple.
days, so that I can just sit on my couch and watch every single game. And the greatest thing they ever did was put every game on TV, in my opinion. I remember watching as a kid where you could only watch one game at a time, and now being able to see everything is awesome. So
I'm pretty
yeah,
sure my computer has split screen and my TV here has something on, and then my downstairs TV has something on. And my wife's like, "This is too much basketball." I'm like, huh, "No, it's not.
No, it's not.
I can have more on if I really wanted to." And she's like, "Oh God."
I think I just remember there was one day I was just off from work, and I had the house to myself. So I literally just decided, screw it, I'm gonna turn on every TV and have a different game on. And I literally did exactly what you did, Merritt, and did that same exact thing.
It's awesome. It's
Oh yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, our setup is, and thank goodness my wife loves basketball. Like she's as big a fan as I am, if not bigger. So our setup, we do 2 TVs in the living room, and then we do a projector on the wall. So we literally, you can watch everything at once.
I've sent my wife so many of those videos of like the people that have the numerous TVs on their wall, and I go,
yeah,
"Can we do this in our next house?" And she goes, "For what?" I'm like, "Sports and the funness of it." And she goes, "No." I go, "What if it's in the basement in a man cave?" She was like, "Okay, maybe." I'm like, I got a maybe. I'm gonna take it and run
You're
with
in.
it.
You're in. You're in.
She's gonna come home one day and there's gonna be TVs all over, and she's gonna be like, "What did I just do?"
Oh my gosh, I love it. Merritt, you're gonna make fun of me because I'm gonna go off script for 2 seconds.
Oh,
So
geez, you going off script? That never happens.
I know. So Jess, I know that you taken some sport management classes. Merritt and I are both sport management majors, as you know. So we gotta ask everybody, give us your favorite Doc Jones moments.
Oh man.
So
So
bad.
I did the sport and exercise psychology major because I got in-state tuition. And I
Okay.
tried multiple times with my dad to convince him to let me switch over to sports management. And he's like, no, you're gonna get the in-state tuition degree, and then whatever you do after that is great. But so yeah, I want to say I only got maybe 2 doc classes under my belt. And I think both you may have been in the one that I had. It may have been one, honestly, but I I didn't get a ton of experience with him, but I do recall like our business plan that we had to put together, that major project. I just remember like and I didn't know everybody in the class all that well at all. You guys all knew each other. I was kind of an outsider, but I do recall somebody like multiple groups just getting torn to shreds in front of the entire class. And I will never forget that. I was kind of like, what the hell am I doing here? Like he was intense, man. He was intense.
Classic moment. There's gonna be a Merritt. I feel like
I'm
there's gonna be a moment
dying. I'm
what
dying.
happened? Why are you dying?
That's just because I remember that shit from Doc.
Yeah.
Ripping and it was the big group project and ripping us apart. I don't think anyone walked out of that classroom happy. I just think we all left and said, fuck it. Excuse me, Andrew, just bleep that out. And went to the bar or went back to our apartments and just drank heavily for the rest of the day. Oh my god.
You know what's,
He definitely was preparing us for the real world, though. We didn't know it, but he was.
Yeah, that's what we talked about last time with Lauren. Yeah, he definitely prepared us better than any other professor we had.
Yes, that is.
I wish I would have gotten more classes with him, but and more in general in the sports management side of things. But yeah, I enjoyed that one a lot. The one that I had with him.
Nice. So my next question that I have is, so you are the recreation superintendent at Wicomico County. How did you get involved with recreation?
So it's kind of a long story, but oddly enough, my mom has been a rec and parks director for 35 years. She actually retires next month. So
it's
kind of her.
Yeah, it's kind of like been my entire life. And I didn't realize what was going on as I grew up through it. But like from an early age, I was helping at festivals, helping at races, helping at events, whatever. Just like that's how I spent time with my mom. So that was kind of growing up and seeing that. I didn't realize that's what I would end up doing. But a defining moment for me was coming out of school. So I had tried to get into the sports management master's program. Didn't come close to getting in, but I remember setting up a meeting with Dr. Branch just to see, like, hey, give me some feedback on the interview. Like, what kind of recommendations could you give me of a path for me? And I remember him literally saying, like, have you ever considered recreation and parks? And I just looked at him like, no, that's what my mom does. No, that's not at all what I think I want to do. Like, and I think because I grew up in a super rural area, didn't rec and parks basically was, oh, here's a youth soccer program, here's a festival, here's a race, like just small stuff. Like we didn't grow up in a super big area. So I didn't realize what it really could be when you are in a space where there's a lot more resources and a lot more amenities. So I ended up taking an internship. It was really my only like practical option. I felt like out of school was taking an internship. And here in our area, recreation and parks, tourism department, and then we have a 5,000 seat civic center. It's all one department here, which is kind of unique and rare. But I got to take an internship, a sports marketing internship. So basically was trying to get people to stay overnight through hosting sports events, through running your own sports events, that kind of a thing. So it gave me a path into sports management that I kind of wanted, but it was under the recreation and parks umbrella. So long story short, the internship started the day after I started. The tourism director fell and broke her hip and had to retire. And then 2 weeks after I started, the sports marketing rep, the full-time person, left for a job over near Baltimore. And so all of a sudden they're like, well, hey kid, you got to help us out here. And I automatically got to do the job just because there was no one else to do it. And turns out I was okay at it. And so I just, like any internship, you take what you can get and do what they ask of you. And it turns out I hit the lottery as far as having a boss. Like my boss for my internship is actually our director of our department today. He's my immediate supervisor now. Like probably top 5 human being I've ever met. So that's really honestly the main reasons I've stayed, because I feel like I hit the lottery there. I've learned an insane amount from him, just how to be a professional, how to really, have character and integrity. And obviously I got to learn from my mom over time, but he's been really a standout person for me. That's like, you find somebody that you can have as a mentor, really learn from. And, so that's kind of what happened. So I did that, for about 5 years. I was in the sports tourism side of things. And so I got to travel all over the place. I got to, work on our own events. I know we'll talk about the Governor's Challenge. That's one that's kind of become my baby over time, but running our own events, but then hosting big events. So like we've got a sports complex. We host a 3-week long national softball tournament every summer. It's like 400 teams from all around the country that come in. We got youth baseball World Series. We've got anything, like literally any sport you can think of. Like I got the Mid-Atlantic Quidditch regional event like 5 years ago. That was a thing that was happening at one point. Like there's anything you can think of. There are people spending money on it for their kids now to go play somewhere. So it really was eye-opening to me. It was something, and I didn't have enough sports management classes. I don't know if you guys ever talked about sports tourism, but it was nothing I had ever heard about until just being thrust into it. And it turned out it was the perfect role for me. Like I absolutely loved it and loved the industry. But it's something like $14 billion a year that parents spend on youth travel sports.
Wow.
So like,
wow,
it's a massive business. And anywhere you look, there are, local municipalities or counties or states that are investing millions and billions of dollars in these like mega sports complexes. And so
there's like four baseball facilities all within a 10-minute drive of my house here in New York.
Yeah.
And one of them is building a new like clubhouse type deal, I think, for like Parks and Rec directors and stuff to work there, but also for games and stuff. I'm like, for a place that loves lacrosse, they got a lot of damn baseball fields.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty spectacular, honestly. Like, and it's weird. Like when we were growing up as kids, I would say the breakdown was like 80% of kids played local recreational sports. It's like you got into sports through that. Like you played local, and then there was like 20% that were like your elite kids, or really good ones that are playing travel sports, or the really rich kids that are playing travel sports. Now it's flipped totally. It is 80% of people are playing travel sports. 20% are playing recreational sports. Like people, I mean, you see the over specialization of kids, all that going on like everywhere. But I mean, you've got kids that are literally playing, and parents that are spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars every weekend. They're spending money on hotels and eating out and gas, and they're going all over the country.
I guess I never
and the
thought
thing
of it
is
that way.
It's a huge business. And so for us, we get a hotel room tax every time somebody stays in one of our hotel rooms. So the more that we invest in driving that traffic, and if you've ever been to where I am from, it is very rural. Like we've got Ocean City, Maryland, 30 minutes from us, but like nobody just comes to Salisbury, Maryland just to come for tourism. Like you got to get them here. So it for us, that's the only way we found that was our best kind of business model to get people here. And so that took a lot of different it looked like a million different things, but I mean we've had some pretty awesome events in the area, and we've built some really cool relationships, and I've gotten to travel and build some pretty cool relationships with event organizers from all over the place that are doing some really cool stuff. So it's huge business. And so that's kind of how I started in the department. And then about 5 years in, our recreation department, the rec superintendent. So we've got 4 different divisions. We've got recreation, parks, civic center, and then our tourism division. So I was the assistant manager in tourism, like I think like a year out of school. Like it was a little over a year. It was like a year and a half. Again, as soon as I got into the sports marketing position full time, the assistant tourism manager moved on. I got to jump into that role because I was kind of getting it in the sports, area. So anyway, about 5 years in, then all of a sudden this position opens. My direct supervisor that was my internship supervisor is the director of our department at that point, and he had always challenged me, get outside of your comfort zone and continue to grow. For me, I'm thinking like I love sports. This is what I want to do. Is I love this side of it. And I told him that, like he didn't say the job's yours. He said you can interview for the job, but I want you to interview for the job. I want you to go for it. And I told him no the first time. I was like, this isn't what I want to do. I want to say like I love what I'm getting to do here. And he had lunch with me and said, I know you love what you're getting to do here, but you really need to consider going for this. It's going to stretch you. It's going to help you grow as a leader, all that good stuff. And so I went for it thinking I'll just do the interview. and then once they offered it, I was like, well, I can't say no to the guy. I was like, yes, I'll do it. And then from there, the last 5 years, I've gotten to lead a team that, and my perspective has changed drastically over time too. Like having kids now as well, getting into the local community, the local recreational space is pretty valuable and important. So the last 5 years, I've led a team. We've got 5 different full-time staff members on my team, but we handle anything from our local sports complex, which is where we host all these big events. So we're the facility manager for that. A park system of over 30 different facilities. So anything from, one or two soccer fields at a place to, our big major facilities. All of our childcare programming. So after school programs at like 10 different schools, summer camps, whether it be sports or nature, whatever, environmental ed, outdoor recreation, adult sports, youth sports. Like there's a huge variety. I can't even tell you how many different things I'm working on a given day. And I usually come home and my brain is fried but I love that. I've been in the department now for about 10 years, and I can honestly say I've never had a day that I have looked at the clock once. It's like all of a sudden the day is over, because it's been you're juggling so much and there's so many different things to keep afloat. But one of the things that helped convince me to take that recreational job was that I got to hang on to doing the governor's challenge and stick with that, because that was one that's what I absolutely love to do, that I found is event management. That's what my passion is. That's what really energizes me. And when you get to do that in high school basketball, like there's a lot of it's almost like you're working on a college basketball event, honestly, the way that we've set it up and built it now. But that's so much fun to me.
All right, so let's talk about that, because you literally just mentioned it. It is happening. What starts tomorrow, I believe?
December 26th to
Okay.
the 30th.
So
yeah, we'll be if it was tomorrow, I wouldn't be talking to you guys right now.
he'd be like, yeah, no, I don't, I'm good. Bye. No, but walk
No,
us through it. Walk us through the governor's
Yeah.
challenge for those that have no idea what it is. Kind of give the
Yep.
the layman's terms of what it is.
Yeah, so now we've built it up to be the largest holiday high school basketball tournament in the country. So we have had as many as 130 teams before, but it's all high school basketball. So you think about like your typical, holiday high school basketball tournament. It's like a local 4-team event kind of a thing. You get, 4 local schools playing whatever. We kind of took the model, and this was when I was back in the tourism division, was we got to get people staying here. So let's blow this thing up. We've got some awesome facilities, our civic center, some local universities that partner with us. And then for whatever reason in Salisbury, I mean, our population's not crazy, but we have 3 high schools within like 2 miles of each other for some reason. So we have the facilities to make this event take off, but it's the largest in the country. We get anywhere from our local schools. I'll say we have anywhere from like not great high school basketball up to the best level of high school basketball. So we've got well over 100 teams. We have 110 this year, from 12 different states. So coming as far away as Canada, Arizona, and Florida are the furthest 3 schools coming this year, but all up and down the East Coast. So, and that's kind of the unique thing. If you look at high school basketball recruiting, like some of the hotbeds, you're looking at the DMV area, you're looking at Philly, you're looking at New York City, New Jersey. Like we are within a short drive of all those locations. And so that's what's really cool about it, is seeing all those styles of play come together. And it's really a platform for the high school athlete to get noticed, get recruited. But the really cool thing about it to me is that we're able to create an impact on our area. But at the same time, like my goal with the event is to have the best experience for the athlete in high school basketball. Like we want them to like come into the Governor's Challenge more than them going to win a state championship. And that's, our goal has always been to build the Final Four of high school basketball as far as the experience, and what they get from the moment they walk in. We try to make them feel like they're at the Final Four, and that they are, it's going to be the biggest event of their life. So many of them, it ends up being the biggest event. I mean, the stats on how many go to play in college. We'll have over 2,000 high school basketball players here for that 5-day window. So a good chunk of them, this is going to be the highlight of their whole athletic career.
Damn. That's nuts. Holy. That's
Jes,
a lot of players.
Jes, I was reading up on the Governor's Challenge. You guys are in your 40th anniversary, and in your media conference the other day, you mentioned that this is the 3rd time you're trying to celebrate the 40th. So
I did hear that. That was great.
Can you?
It's
our
third.
happened?
It's our 3rd annual 40th anniversary, is what we're calling it. But COVID has killed us. So 2020, I tried to do it. Ended up by about December 8th, where the health department would not let me, even though I kept trying. They told me no. And so I pursued everything I possibly could, but it was at least December 8th. Like I got over myself by Christmas. It was like, okay, it's 1 year. It is what it is. Last year was absolutely brutal. We planned the whole event, and I mean the whole event. And literally by January 2nd, after the event, I'm planning and jumping into the following year. Like it's a year-long process to build it up to what it has been. And I've got an amazing team that we've built around that. I mean, we've got some awesome people with me that do an amazing job, but it takes us all year. And so last year we cancel. Okay, we get over it. We'll be good for 2021. And we set up the entire arena. We set up all 4 of our facilities were set up. Our whole event was staffed. Tickets are sold. Like it's happening. It's Christmas Eve from December 17th. So like a week out of the event, there's 120 teams. I lost 78 teams in 5 days due to COVID. So whether the school system shut down, whether the team got COVID, like it was insanity. Like I've never, the amount of time you spend on it, and then the world just crashes in on top of it. And it's like, it's totally out of our control, but it was nuts. So I literally had to cancel the event a day and a half out last year on Christmas Eve. It was absolutely brutal. And our our whole family had the stomach flu at the same time. So we
Oh
were
no.
like, I don't know if I was sick from the stomach flu or if it was stress induced or what it was, but I was miserable last Christmas.
Oh
It
God.
was
That
brutal. So
that Delta variant just beat the hell out of everybody.
yeah, and I mean, like coaches were asking me like 2 weeks out, like, is this still going to happen? Like, COVID's coming back around. Like, the president is going to have to tell us it's not happening because I don't like. I'm going. We're going to do it no matter what. And I didn't take into account that I had zero control over school systems at all. And they decided, and it got to the point where like we maybe could have done it, but like I've got a team coming from Georgia, and I don't know if they have an opponent when they get here. I can't do that. Like
Mm.
it totally ruins the experience. It's not what the governor's challenge is, and so we had to make the really tough choice. I basically told my boss, there is no way we can do this, but I cannot be the one to say that it's canceled. You got to tell me to cancel it because I can't. I've put too much in. I am. There's no way I can do it. I can't cancel it. So we ended up canceling it, and it sucks. So it has been 1,065 days since the last event, and I've probably thought about it 10,000 times. Like it's become my hobby more than anything. Like that is my hobby, is to work on this event now. I honestly don't even spend all that much time on it in the office. Like it's so much fun to me. It's not work at all. It's a lot of fun. It's what I'm passionate about. So yeah, it's been three times we've tried to do the 40th anniversary. So finally we're gonna get it in this year.
Third time's a charm, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's gotta be.
If
It's
it doesn't
gotta be.
happen, we're just gonna see Jess just be like, I'm done. Nope, not no more 40th. We're on to the 44th
Yeah.
year already.
It might be it. It might be it if it doesn't happen. Yeah.
Oh
So
man.
Go ahead, Merritt, because I've been talking a lot.
All right. So I'm gonna skip to my question that I wrote.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I find this one interesting. So you mentioned during the media day yesterday, Jess, that you guys are now working with Moolah Kicks. So
yeah.
can you explain how you guys are going to expand the women's side of the Governor's Challenge and what that means to you personally about how this is going to work?
Yeah. So one of the many things I get to do at this event is try to sell sponsorships, build partnerships, that kind of a thing. That's something like I'm not a salesman, but it's easy because I love this event. And I kind of saw them coming up and saw what was happening. One of our staff she's our creative director, leads all of our marketing. She played college basketball. She had mentioned Moolah to me at some point whenever they first came about. She's super into the women's game and has taught me a lot, honestly, on my end. So I just reached out to him. Like, it was a cold email. There's no reason they had to answer it. I can't tell you how many cold emails I've sent out that no one's ever answered. You just keep firing away until somebody does. And they did. And basically, like I kind of sold them on, here's what the event is. And I started the girls side of the event in 2014, I think 2014 or 15. And we just started with 4 teams, like, and tried to get the best 4 teams we could. And it's grown from there. We have over 20 now. But honestly, I feel like we could have over 100 girls teams if we could fit them. So to me, like, my perspective has changed drastically in the last 3 years. I have 2 daughters now. So that's something that's personally important to me. I mean, I love men's basketball, but hopefully if they decide they want to play, I'm going to love women's basketball too. So not that they're going to get pushed in that direction, but they're certainly going to be around a lot of basketball. But I think with Moolah, they're the first women's basketball shoe that's out there. So they've designed a shoe that is literally built for the women's foot. Heard all the stats before on the difference in injuries and that kind of thing, and in women's to men's. And a lot of that is they've been wearing the men's shoe forever. So it's not built for their bodies. And so what Moolah is doing, I mean, they're kind of changing the game. Like, Mark Cuban's an investor. they've got some big names like investing in them, and I think they're going to blow up. And so I really wanted to connect with them and bring them in to help us shape what the Governor's Challenge looks like. What do you want women's and girls basketball to look like? And then I know I can build that. I that's what I feel like I'm really good at is being able to build an experience. And so, getting in with them at the ground level before they've become huge is important. And I think it's something that, they're our presenting sponsor of the girls side of the event. So they are doing a cash sponsorship to the event, but more importantly to me, it's that partnership and kind of long-term commitment to, okay, this is what the girls side of the event is this year. It's great. Don't get me wrong, but I think it could be better. And that's the goal of them, is to kind of take it to the next level and really involve them in the planning process and building something pretty cool. The same thing holds true. We want to build the best experience in high school basketball, men's or women's. But a lot of time the girls side, you're seeing there's been a lot of progress recently, but I think, that's something I want to be a part of and help to grow. So in, 12 or 13 years, if I have a high school basketball player in my house, they've got a place to play.
I love it. So Jes.
And then Uncle Kevin's gonna deck him out in some sick shoes.
Yes. 100%.
No, you got moolah. You got moolah. You're good.
That's right.
Oh
That's right.
wow.
My kids only wear Uncle Kevin's shoes so far in their life. Like
That's fantastic.
That is because everyone knows, like, the fact that like Jess, you have kids, your sister-in-law Madison has 2 boys. So like, I mean, for me, being able to treat them to some awesome cakes is super incredibly important to me, because let's just be real for a second, guys. I'm not having any kids anytime soon. So the fact that I get to go ahead and
breaking news.
Breaking news, everybody. Kevin is not going to have any kids anytime soon.
So,
Back to you, Kevin,
just
for
And Zach Wilson.
Yes.
And Zach Wilson is no longer on the Jets.
Yes, exactly. I know. So doing that is honestly like one of like my favorite things to do. But so another thing, because Merritt mentioned from your media conference, Moolah Kicks. One of the things you mentioned that the talent coming in this year is 5 times better than what you've ever had. Can you what teams are you excited to like see come out to Maryland this year for the Governor's Challenge?
Yeah. So one, like, we've been building the event for a long time and we've been right on the cusp. We've had we've got former NBA players from the event, but like these are top nationally ranked programs now. So DeMatha is one. So it's the most recognizable high school basketball program probably in the history, but they were actually at the very first Governor's Challenge in 1981. We have a legendary coach locally that set it up, that had coached the Morgan Wooten's basketball camps and that kind of a thing, and he got him down here. So that's really cool to me, because that coach is still coaching in his 58th year this year.
Wow.
The founder of the event, he's an absolute legend here, and so it's cool. That's really cool to me, like getting to bring them back for him to see and get to be in the same arena again. So DeMath is one. They've been like, they're not nationally ranked yet somehow. They were down, or they were ahead on Sierra Canyon with Bronny James by 1 point before some kind of fight in the crowd broke out and they had to end the game, but they were up on them. They beat Roselle Catholic from New Jersey, who was #1 in the country already. They're going to be top 25, top 10 in the country, honestly, I think, in high school this year. But so DeMath is one. IMG Academy is another one. So you know them, but you've probably seen him on the internet already, but he's 7'6". He's actually the world's tallest teenager. He's in the Guinness Book of World Records. So he's going to be here. His name's Olivier Roux. He's from Canada, but playing for IMG, probably going to end up at Purdue if anything works out the way we know. But he's if you take that as a comparison, Zach Edey's 7'4". He's 2 inches taller than Zach Edey, and he's still growing. He's probably going to be 7'7" by this time next month. Like he's massive. So he doesn't have to jump to dunk it. Like it's crazy. So IMG is another one. We've got a bunch of really good New Jersey schools, Kevin. So the Patrick School where Kyrie went. We've got Bergen Catholic. They've got a top 5 freshman in the country. St. Benedict's is another one that's always a powerhouse. And then we've got a ton of defending state champions, like Elizabeth from New Jersey. There's a Virginia state champion, a Florida state champion. So there's a lot of top talent that's going to be at the event this year, like way more than we've ever had. And I'm super excited for it.
Yeah, because when I told Merritt the list, I sent them the Governor's Challenge email and Instagram, and we looked through the list. We're just like, oh my God, this is just name after name after name. And it's like, oh my God, it's the best of the best. If you're looking for the best in basketball on the East Coast, like that is some of the best, most recognizable names. And the fact that you got them coming to your tournament, that is super, super incredible.
Oh, it definitely speaks to the experience for sure. Cause like I said, like people aren't just traveling to Salisbury for no reason. Like there's gotta be a reason for them to come here. And I think the experience that we've built up, the cool thing about the town is it's not too big that the event gets lost. Like it is the only thing happening in town for this week, but it's also big enough that it can support it to the level that it is. So it's a lot of fun. It's a really cool experience, and the atmosphere is like I try to explain it to people, but until you physically walk in the gym, like there's nothing else like it, in my opinion.
I guess next year we're gonna have to go, Kevin, is what I'm getting at here. I think he's telling us need to go.
I think there's a live podcast in the future from courtside.
I mean, hey,
I won't say no.
We can work it out, Merritt. We will work details, because I would 100% love to experience this. I know, like you guys talk about it with you guys, and I'm just like, I need to experience this right after Christmas. So
yeah,
we will talk the details.
You got the official invite, so
we'll be
actually,
there.
Kevin,
there it is, Merritt.
Kevin, I was thinking about this. Like we went, I can't remember what year it was, but we went to the Coliseum to a high school tournament. It was like Oak Hill, and
yes, they
I remember
did.
Oh yeah.
It was Noah Cottrell was there with Logan before he came to West Virginia, and like I can't remember who else was there, but that was like my first taste of like high level high school basketball.
Yeah, because I have the pictures. It was like Noah Cottrell, and then they played against some team in California. Then the game after was it was Oak Hill Academy versus another team in Florida. And I'm trying to remember who the other team was, because I know that Oak Hill team, because I looked back at the pictures the other day, that Oak Hill team had Jawan Staten on it. So,
oh, that's right.
Jesus.
So, yeah.
That's right.
So I was like, oh my God, that's so crazy. And there was another big team, but I forgot. Oh, Rice High School from New York City was in that one too.
Yep.
So that was so much fun. I remember that. That was a good tournament, because I remember we were like, we might as well just go, because it's like free for us students. And like they had it right there in the Coliseum, because they did it right after. So I think the men's played at noon, the ladies played at like 4, and then the rest of the night was the tournament.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yes,
that was really cool.
Ooh, one thing I have. So, Jes, how have you been the director for how long of the Governor's Challenge?
This will be 2012 was for sure I did it. So literally the year that I graduated. Again, similar situation. No one to run the event. Don't screw it up. And here you go. And at that point, it was a 30-team event. It was mostly local schools, and just fell in love with it from there, and really built it up with a lot of people.
Who has been, like, when you think back from the years that you've ran it, who has been your favorite team that you've been able to watch?
Favorite team? It's hard for me to say favorite team that I've been able to watch. I have some favorite coaches.
Go ahead.
That that have been kind of legendary, but then there's some favorite moments and favorite players that are a little bit kind of fun, like behind the scenes stuff. So, Obi Toppin.
Mhm.
I take full credit for Obi Toppin winning the NBA slam dunk contest. He so I Here's the story. I walk into a locker room, or I walk into our storage. We get a bunch of donations from like Gatorade and stuff. I walk into our storage room. I'm grabbing some drinks for a team, and Obi Toppin is in my storage room trying to steal a case of Gatorade. And I'm like, "What the hell are you doing, man?" And so he, like, their team, it was Mount Zion Prep. They were literally like ripping down our backboards in warmups. Like, they were absolute monsters slam dunking. Come to find out, he didn't start dunking until that year. When you go back and look at it, like, that was his post grad year of high school. He didn't start dunking until that year. And so in the thing, like, I had seen him in warmups, and he hadn't, like, his coach hadn't put him into the dunk contest. And I was like, listen, like, and there's so much stupid stuff like this that happens at these, but I was like, listen, I'm not going to tell anybody. I will give you that case of Gatorade, but you have to do the dunk contest tonight. Like, you have to do it. And he's like, all right, I'll do it. So one of my favorite hobbies has become like picking a dunker and then coaching them through the dunk contest. So he didn't even win our dunk contest. He came in second, but that was the first dunk contest he ever did. I'm coaching him up. I'm telling him, all right, send your teammate up into the upper deck. He's going to throw the ball down. You're going to run from half court, like try to dunk it. It was so much fun. But so then now, like, he's winning the NBA dunk contest. I take 100% credit for that. It's like, obviously he jumps out of the gym, but like he didn't even know, what he was doing at that point. But that's one that's been a lot of fun. Bones Highland, that's on the Nuggets now. He's from Delaware originally, so like he was relatively known in this area, but he blew up at the Governor's Challenge. Like, he scored his 1,000th point here. He, like, his college offers have come from here. Like, he plays on an awesome AAU program with We Are One out of Delaware, but VCU really discovered him at the event. And then obviously he's doing great things in the NBA now, but he was one that he loved to talk on the court, like talk trash to the other team. And so he ended up getting 2 techs and ejected out of the one game. He scored 40 points, gets ejected. I mean, the crowd, like, it's the most fun I've seen the crowd ever have at the event was when he was playing. Outside of the dunk contest, when he's playing, the refs come to me and they're like, he can't play tomorrow. He's been ejected. That's the rule in Delaware. I'm like, well, we're in Maryland, so it's not the rule. and they're like, you need to go talk to him then and explain what's going on. You need to have a conversation with him. So I go into the locker room with Bones and his mom and like the lead official, and I'm like, Bones, they don't want me to let you play tomorrow because you're acting crazy on the court. Like, people are paying to come watch you play, so I need you to be on the court. Like, I need you to apologize to this official. And he just got caught up in the game. Like, he's a great dude. He is a great dude. He just got caught up in the game, and he and his mom both apologized. And I'm like, he's playing tomorrow. Let him play tomorrow. He ends up going nuts again. But like, he's an absolute legend from our event. But he that was another one that was just like, there's some really weird, surreal moments looking back at it now of goofy stuff that's happened. But those are probably a couple favorites, I think.
That's amazing.
Mayor,
do you have anything else? Because I feel like a story like that, I don't think you can top that.
I don't think so. I think that's how you end that part. Like, that's a fantastic story. I can't wait for people to listen to that part. I'm gonna just tell people, fast forward like an hour and a half, and then stop, and then listen.
Yes. So I guess
well, this
that's
has been
amazing.
a lot of fun, guys.
Yeah, Jess, honestly, thank you for being on and rocking out with us.
Anytime.
Like the Governor's Challenge, anybody, if you're listening or you're watching on our YouTube, if you are anywhere by the Eastern Shore of Maryland, close to Salisbury, or you need something to do the week of Christmas, let's be real. If you got kids, you're off, so you should be around. If you need something to do, hit up the Governor's Challenge. You're gonna see, if you're a fan of basketball, you're gonna see a lot of great teams this year. I'm excited to see the highlights. I saw on the Instagram that they have the little feed, and we can watch them. I'm gonna have to check some of them out when I get the chance. But Merritt, what else do we have left on the pod?
The final plans for Sunday.
Oh yes,
That's
so
literally it.
Jess, me and Merritt are seeing the Nets versus Celtics because he's a huge Celtics fan,
All
and
right.
it's a Sunday, so we're gonna go to Brooklyn. We're gonna do a tour. We're gonna do a segment, or we're out here, our second portion of our podcast. So,
Which
Merritt,
is
what time
still
you?
waiting to go up. I don't even know where my part is going up yet.
Yes, Merritt, where do you? Where shall I meet you? What time
Well,
you want to meet up?
it's up to you because like I just have to get on the train and basically just go straight to the city. Um, but the question is, Kevin, what are we doing prior to this game? Because the game's at 6:30.
Well, though I guess it also depend on where we're gonna go and what time we arrive in the city.
Are
So,
we
like, if
are we thinking to hit up like the NBA store in Nike Town?
I would assume that's probably on the list.
Okay.
So, if anything, you would think, say we get to the city the latest by 1, then we gotta get to those places, and then you'll probably think we'll be in those places for like 2-3 hours, and by that time it's gonna be like 4 o'clock. So you got to make your way to Atlantic Ave. That will be at least another hour. Get there by like
Just
hours, so
before tip
hour and a
off.
half before like tip.
And we
Get
get food.
something to probably eat, and then I get to watch you boo the hell out of Kyrie Irving, which is gonna
Oh
be
my
very
god, I'm
exciting.
so excited. Oh my god, I'm so excited for that. Like more than anything in the world right now. I'm so excited.
He hates Kyrie Irving, Jess. I just wanna let you know. So
Most
there you
most
go.
Celtics fans do.
Yeah, I have
Yes,
every right to hate him.
that is true. You do. So
Well,
Merritt, so I'm assuming, is it outro time?
I think it is. I think it's time to let all these people's earballs relax a little bit after listening to us, talk for 2.5 hours.
It's true. But so here we go. Outro time. First off, it's our time. We support our friends. We want to give them our flowers. Jess, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us and have to listen to my raspy voice. It's been a pleasure chopping it up with you, like always. If there's any social medias you want to put out so our people can follow, please do so now.
Yeah, I forget myself. You can follow at Gov Challenge, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere you want to. You can get all the information from there. And thank you guys for having me. It's been a lot of fun. Kevin, cut out the cigarettes. Take care of yourself, man.
I know, seriously, for real.
Oh boy.
Oh my god. So yeah, so for those that are watching, continue to watch us. Like our stuff on YouTube at the Manly Musings Podcasts. Make sure you can listen to us as well. We're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify, we're on Google Play, we're on Amazon. So if you don't want to look at my roundness and rotundness, you can go ahead and just listen to it. You can follow Merritt at his Instagram, Merritt_P. You can follow me at KQuava624. You can follow the podcast Instagram at the Manly Musings Pod. And just want to say thank you again. Peace, y'all.